Let me formally welcome our guest, Professor Mike Ozekhome, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, multiple chief. He is here. He's our guest this afternoon.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Gbenga Aruleba.
Papa Vigi of the universe.
Bengus. We've come a long way, over 30 years.
Good to see you again.
Of this national conversation.
And it doesn't make me happy, really. I mean, for me, I'm happy because it's essentially my job.
Yes.
I belong to this side where all we do is to chronicle whatever happens.
Yeah.
That is history, chronicle history in a hurry. But you are on that side. It shouldn't be for talk alone. No. It should be with a view to have a concrete result. Yeah. And I'm asking, aren't you fed up with all these endless talk every time since 1999? In fact, predating 1999, we engaged the military with a view to having, transition to civil rule. Yeah. And then part of it was to also ensure that we have a people's constitution as part of that process. Yeah. It didn't happen. Then 1999 came on us. We didn't see the constitution until Obasanjo took the oath of office, and then something came out in form of a decree in our names and all of that. We've been talking since.
We'll be talking.
When are we going to stop talking?
Yeah, we will stop talking when the right thing is done, when its permanent solution is found. I agree with you, we'll be talking since even before 2022. In fact, we'll be talking since 1st of January 1914, when the Southern and Northern Protectorates were amalgamated to form Nigeria. We talked before 2022 Clifford Constitution. We talked before 1946 Arthur Richards Constitution. We still talked before 1951 Macpherson Constitution. The talk went on before the 1954 Little Constitution. We talked and talked during the colonial period, constitutional conferences, leading to the 1960 Independence Constitution. We continued to talk because we felt it was not right until we became Republican in 1963 with the 1963 Republican Constitution. But we will not stop talking because no solution had been found, nothing autochthonous, nothing homegrown. Like you had the Midwest Constitution of 10th August 1963 that exited them from Western region. So we continue to talk until the Obasanjo Constitution of 1979, after a Constituent Assembly Constitutional Conference, headed by Chirotimi Williams.
Of blessed memory.
Yeah, of blessed memory. But in all this, none of this was subjected to the Nigerian people for a plebiscite or referendum. So we continued the talk. Then IBB set up its own Constituent Assembly. We talked and we had a 1989 Constitution of IBB, which was never used for one day. Then the military again.
Was it not used? I thought that was what gave birth to the
it wasn't used.
Equate Third Republic.
No, where that there was
there
so
were elected members
they just
of the
elected,
National Assembly,
and then so it
there
was
were elected governors.
Yes, so it
elected local government.
It went into
operators.
oblivion within a short time. Until 1999, we were in the trenches. You were there reporting out. We fought the military. Face to face, eyeball to eyeball. But I think some of us human rights activists and pro-democracy campaigners, we made a mistake. And that is one regret I have in my life. When they ask me today, do you have any regret in your life? I will say yes. What is it? That we engaged the military, fought them, when they were going and trying to give us power.
So when they were ready.
When they were ready.
And it was obvious that time that they were ready to go.
And us led us to say the military could not give birth to democracy. So we refused to engage the military. So whilst we were still fighting on, it didn't occur to us that we had won not just the battles, but the war. We were still fighting. So those who never joined us to fight, those who were hiding behind their wives' backs, those who were going on with their normal daily job.
So we're even running around for
some
the military.
People running around. Yeah. So they came back and took the spoils of office. By the time
whilst we were still
at the battlefield. That's an historic mistake. So the reason we have to continue to talk is that when the Abdul Salam Abubakar was going away, he gave us a military decree which was actually a schedule. The 1999 Constitution is a schedule attached to Decree number 24. Not many Nigerians know that the 1999 elections that brought in Obasanjo were even held
Under a decree.
under a decree. No, without a constitution.
Yeah.
The constitution had not come into effect.
Yeah.
Then we have problems with that decree. The preamble says, we the people of Nigeria
Haven't sat down.
having sat down, do hereby give to ourselves the following constitution. That's a lie in itself. But if that were the lie, if the origin, this original sin, were all the problem, then we will say, okay, let's take it from there. But the process by which a constitution comes into being is as important, indeed more important, than the constitution. So when you say we gave ourselves the following constitution, we know we did not. We now decide to look at the constitution. What have you given to us? We saw a unitary system of government for a diverse and pluralistic society like Nigeria. Unitary. Don't forget that one of the major reasons that led to the military upsurge against General J.T.U. Aguiyi-Ironsi in 1967 was that with the promulgation of a unitary decree. Nigerians they hate to hear that. Just like in Ghana, just like in other countries like Brazil. A diverse country like Nigeria that is variegated, multicultural, multi-religious, multilinguistic, can only have a federal constitution, which the present constitution is not. Now, in the constitution, all powers, majority of powers are centralized at the federal government level, at the center. The federating units are three, as we have it. The states, the local government areas. What all of them share is nothing compared with what the federal government shares. The result, everybody fights himself, kills himself.
I've seen two problems we have identified now.
Yes.
Just noting the problems.
Thank you very much. So they fight themselves to go to Abuja. So Abuja becomes more attractive. That in itself leads to electoral corruption because everybody wants to go to Abuja to go and partake of the national cake without anybody wanting to know how the cake is baked. So that competition, that regional competition, up to January 15, 1966, before the Major Kaduna Nzogu Chukwuma-led military push, has gone. Everybody now relies on Abuja. Before that 1966 coup, we had 3 regions, later joined by Midwest region on 10th August 1963. Each of them was competitive, produced their own products, their own goods. And under the 1960 and 1963 Constitution, each region that produced was entitled to 50% of its produce. Then it paid 20% royalty to the government, federal government at the center of Tafawa Balewa. Then the remaining 30% was again shared amongst the regions, including the region that had already taken 50%. The result was every region trying to outdo the other.
Yeah.
What did it lead to?
Competition.
Competition.
Yeah.
What did the competition
Heavy
lead to?
competition.
Development. Heavy competition, not envious one.
Yeah.
Ahmadu Bello, the leader of the MPC, would have gone to Abuja to become the prime minister. He said no. He sent his deputy, Tafawa Balewa, to go and become prime minister, while he decided to take the lower position of a premier of northern region so as to take care of his people. He made sure that the Kano groundnut pyramid, the rice and skin, the cotton were utilized for the northern people, northern region. And he founded the Northern Nigeria Development Corporation, NNDC. He built Yankari Green Reserve, Ahmadu Bello University.
What today has
Goba
become
Hotel.
Sambisa Forest was a park.
Was a park.
Yeah, because there was a time that we could see the relics of how it was a very good games reserve and park.
Exactly.
We saw them
Now,
there.
let's go to the West. The West had only one mono product, cocoa. The late sage, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, latched on it, on the competitiveness, used the product to make sure he gave Yoruba land free education at all levels.
Yeah.
The tallest building in Ibadan till today, built around 1965, the Cocoa House, was built by Obafemi Awolowo.
Yeah. With proceeds from cocoa?
Yes, proceeds from cocoa. He built the first television station in Africa, the Western Nigeria Broadcasting Corporation. He built the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, in 1962, which I attended. So he went into mass rural integrative development because he had access to his product and there was competition. Unlike now. In the eastern region, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, then later Dr. Michael Okpara, they took on only one product they had, palm produce. With that, you could see the University of Nigeria, Nsukka and Enugu, Transamadi Estate, Enugu and Port Harcourt, Presidential Hotel, Enugu and Port Harcourt, even the Obudukato Ranch. Yeah. They did this. Back home in the Midwest, Dr. Dennis Osadebe, the first premier, with people like Jereti Mariri, Kensity Momo, and Omibiejo, they used the rubber product and timber of Midwest region to develop Midwest Okpula cement factory, Whaley glass industry, Asaba textile. They are there. So what has happened is that the 1999 Constitution has given us a system of government that has military structure, that makes a president so powerful that he can decide to do anything and the Constitution will be helpless. For example, people say, General Obasanjo, my very well-respected elder statesman, former president, and my elder friend and father, say yes, it is not just the Constitution, it is the people that operate it. I agree with him to some extent. But a people can only operate what they say. If the 1999 Constitution says the president must appoint 36 ministers and one for FCT representing 36 states and FCT, can he detract from that? And it also says a minister must also come from each of the 6 geopolitical zones, already making 42. So when we are having about 45, 46 ministers today, there was nothing the president could have done about it. If the Constitution decides to now allow 109 senators and 360 members
of the lower
of the Green Chamber, with the Senate having about I think 68 committees, and the lower chambers having about 89 House of Rep committees, each of them being peopled by different personnel, with special advisors, special assistant, special personal assistant, senior special assistant. You now have Nigeria using about 70 to 80% of our budgetary allocation annually for recurrent expenditure and servicing of external debts.
Leaving services overhead.
Thank you. Freeing only 30%
for development.
20 to 30 for development. So how is the nation going to grow?
Yeah. But these days,
and that has
some
taken
people will tell you that
nearly
these days
150 million trillion of debt.
Yeah,
but all over us.
Some people will argue otherwise, which is that these things are not explicitly in the Constitution. It is our readings of the Constitution, and and we're the ones that read all of this into the Constitution.
The number of ministers and all of that, they are all of the Constitution.
For instance, the humongous amounts we spend on overhead costs, on salaries and emoluments of those political office holders
yes.
are not in the constitution.
Yeah.
It is us that brought all of these things in an attempt to operationalize the wordings of the constitution that you shall have ministers, one from each state of the federation.
The constitution, for
or
example,
you shall have a national assembly that has 2 chambers, 109 senators, 360.
The constitution.
Yes, but it didn't say that these senators must have this number of aides, must have this number of committees for them to work, and that they must budget this amount for themselves as salaries and emoluments. These things are not
that's
in the
point
constitution.
that Baba Obasanjo made, and I said he had a point there. But what I'm saying, if, for example, we have a unicameral legislature, unicameral, not bicameral, that will help.
Yeah.
America,
is there anything fettering our hands?
America that we borrowed from,
yes,
they have only 15 cabinet ministers, just 15. And their constitution...
And 50 senators.
50 senators, but 15 cabinet ministers, 15, just 15, and only 50 senators. You either going to Democrats or Republicans, 49, 51, just like that.
Is it 50 or 2 per state? I think it's 2 per state.
No, it's, you know,
2 per state.
Sorry, it's 100 senators,
Yeah,
sorry,
2 per
100
state.
senators.
2 per state.
Each of them having at times 51, the other 49. Now, you know, let me tell you why the American Constitution has stayed and why it is respected. The 7,591 words document with only 27 amendments has stayed the test of time since 1787 when it was made, because it was made by the people. The Confederates, 50, decided to gather in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. They felt that the center was too weak. They were too powerful. They wanted the center that could take care of their interests. So they gathered in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to have what they called a more perfect union. So for months, between May 25, 1787, and September 17, 1787, they discussed, how do we want to live together? How do we want to interrelate? What form of government do we want? Like now, because the issue has come up now, do we not better need a parliamentary system of government? We may come to that. What form of government do we want? And they agreed that, look, you know what? Being a pluralistic society, we need a federal type of arrangement, not unitary. We need a presidential system of government. And we want to be Republican, want to be independent of external people, like Britain that initially governed them before they became independent in 1776. They also agreed on what you call the doctrine of separation of powers, that there will be 3 arms of government, the legislature, judiciary, and the executive, so as to provide checks and balances. A doctrine that earlier in 1748 was popularized by a great French philosopher, Baron de Montesquieu. They also agreed on judicial review of executive actions. They introduced a Bill of Rights for rights of the people. 39 out of the 50 delegates signed that document, the type we are clamoring for under the aegis of Petrus, to be in the form of a constituent assembly. And then they subjected it to a referendum of the people. So they own their constitution. They believe it. They legitimize it. Nigerians need to have their own constitution.
Do we share the same historical background like
fact,
they? Because ours is slightly different.
No.
Even though the point of agreement with you would be that ours is a union of hitherto autonomous
That's where I was coming to.
And after 100 years of this forced marriage, as it were,
can't we
sit down and renegotiate?
I don't negotiate.
Terms?
If a husband and wife have lived together for so long, and there are problems in the marriage. Can they sit down? I'm happy that you identify that. Before even the Lugadian amalgamation of January 1, 1914, Nigerians was a country of nations with people living on their own differently. We had the Hausa city-states. We had Oyo Empire, Ife a kingdom, Kane Borno Empire. We had the Igbo city-states. We had the Benin Empire. Don't forget that as far back as 1878, don't forget that Oba Ovoram Nogbaisi, the Oba of Benin, Oba Tokwe was already governing a well-settled community. In fact, when the Portuguese came to Benin in the 14th century, during the time of Oba Esige, they said they met a well-organized community with street lights driven by palm oil, with a good government. So it is this union that we're already independent that you decide to cobble together. Now, in cobbling them together, you were given high command from the top to the grassroots. Whereas in America, it was the other way around.
Bottom up.
Bottom up. So, when we talk about having a truly people-owned constitution that is autonomous from the people, we are not engaging in mere sophistry or romanticism. If the problems were not there, Gbenga Aruleba, why would a 92-year-old man, Chief Emeka Anyaku, 92 in January this year, former Secretary General of the 56th Commonwealth of Nations, with about 2.5 billion people, why would he be struggling about Nigeria up to now? Why would I be at the 2005 General Obasanjo's Confab, National Political Reform Conference? Why would I be at the Vision 2020, held in 2009? Why would I be at the 2014 National Conference?
Jonathan's Confab.
Jonathan's Confab. Why would I be at the Patriots one of last week? The Jonathan's Confab was attended by 492 people.
492.
From all over the world, all over the country. Some of them were selected, some of them were elected by their various bodies. Civil society, trade unions, traditional rulers. Go and represent us, market men, market women, professionals, lawyers, doctors, everybody was there.
Even at that, a lot of people will say, it is not representational enough.
Yeah, well, those were the first issues we fought. And we all agreed that it was representative enough. We made over 600 recommendations, none of which has been implemented. That is why the patriots are saying, let me make this point clear.
Yeah, you need to
the
make the point so that
are not the organizers of the constitutional conference. We are not the Constituent Assembly. We are just as a kind of SPV, special purpose vehicle, that has decided to ignite the process by telling Mr. President to introduce a bill to the National Assembly.
Overtly interested Nigerians.
Yeah, with which a Constituent Assembly, modeled after one per senatorial zone and one from Abuja, FCT, will be able to meet and discuss a new constitution. It will be representative of the people. And don't forget also, before we met last week, don't forget, the Patriots had organized zonal meetings across all the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria, where all stakeholders participated. Even with questionnaires that are still out there, they are being answered, they are coming in, they are becoming in. Traditional rulers, religious leaders, youth, students, women, market women, women professionals, all of them, we already had input, trade unions, the labor movement, from all stakeholders before last week. So the delegates were even more than 500.
All right.
So all of them together, all of us plus the inputs from these people, we are saying that executive be the Constituent Assembly should be able to look at the provisions of the 1963 Constitution, which are so ennobling and brought through federalism, fiscal federalism. Yeah. They should look at the 2014 National Conference report recommendations. I should also look at any relevant provisions of the 1999 Constitution. And of course, the National Assembly should not think we are a threat. Right. We are compatriots.
Sorry, Prof.
So they themselves, we also look at their own.
Yes, Prof. Let me just put you on a hold there. Yes. We'll go on a quick break. We'll come back. When we come back, what should be of interest to us is how to move this process beyond these ritual talks. The Constitution, like some of you admitted at that conference, all of this cannot happen just like that.
Like that.
It has to happen through a process.
Yes, and this process we are recommending.
And there's already a process on, which is that there has to be the admission that there's a National Assembly in place.
No, we agree. Let me quickly say this to the nation.
Yeah.
There's a National Assembly in place. They are there under Section 4 to make laws for the peace, order, and good government.
Exactly, and what we are advocating for is a law, albeit a good law that will have the aspirations of Nigerians.
Under Section 9, they can only amend an existing constitution. And 1 million amendments to a fatally, fundamentally flawed document can never cure it of its illegitimacy. So they can, and inadequacy. They can only amend. They cannot promulgate a new constitution, which a constituent assembly can do. And it's a constitution that gives birth to a national assembly. A national assembly can never birth a constitution. The birth certificate of any nation.
My worry is whether if the National Assembly puts up as many as 120 clauses up for amendment in the law, whether that law has not become born again and old things are passed away.
No. I will tell you why not.
We'll come back. We'll go on a break. We'll come back after that. Right. The program is Jigsaw. Here we are demystifying the issues. And the issues we are demystifying today hover around whether Nigeria needs a brand new constitution. If so, generally accepted. Yes. If so, how do we bring that about? What then becomes of the present structures, particularly the role of the National Assembly in all of this. Professor Mike Ozekhome, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, member of the Patriots, is our guest today, and he's been trying to convince us about the belief by the Patriots that the only way forward is what the Patriots have identified and outlined last week. Before you convoked last week, a group of the Patriots had met President Tinubu.
I was there.
You were part of that
August
group.
Last year.
Yes. And perhaps the belief then was that, this man probably sprung from among us. You know, his pro-democracy credentials. Probably you felt that, this is somebody we could engage. Yeah. But it threw the matter back to your court and asked you to go and start the process.
Yes.
Now you started that process.
Yes.
Are you going to, what happens now? Are you going back to him to let him know, this is the outcome of the process you asked us to go and start. This is the product. Now the ball is in your court.
Thank you very much. That's what we are going to do. Now, last year, in fairness to Mr. President, he put on record that he could not ignore the message of such a distinguished body, a body made up of what I would regard as a collection, an amalgam of the conscience of the nation, the best that you can think of. Yeah.
Across all diverse interests.
Yeah, across all diverse interests. We are not even politically inclined. Yes, amongst us may be some politicians, but many of us are apolitical. Like Chief Emeka Anyaoku, like my humble self. Many are just professionals, traditional rulers, military personnel retired, police personnel retired. You know, people who have achieved in their individual respect decided to come together, formerly led by Chief F.R.A. Williams, SAN, later by Professor Nwabuze, SAN, and now Chief Emeka Anyaoku, GCOM. So when we met the president, he said his present engagement, as at that time, August last year,
Yeah, so that his plate was full.
well, his plate was full, was to look at issues concerning economy, security. But you see, and he told us, go back. Why we have gone back is that the problems you are seeing, problems of insecurity, poor economy, leakages and wastages, intolerance by one group of another. They are all symptoms, not the origin of the fundamental problem. It is the organogram. It is the law governing us, because the Constitution is not just legal. It is also the moral document, a legal document, ethical document that guides a people to know what to do, how to relate, how to move forward. So the problems we are having are problems of a bad constitutional framework. We have now decided to meet, and we are going to meet Mr. President back again to say, sir, this is our communique. These are our recommendations. We want to engage Mr. President. We also engage the National Assembly, led by Chief Emeka Anyauku GCOM. Let me give you an example, Aruleba. Albert Einstein say it will be wrong to use the same method by which you created a problem to attempt to solve it. You will not succeed. Hypocrites, after whom the Hippocratic doctrine, oath is taken by aspiring medical doctors, made it clear that desperate diseases require desperate remedies. Like Naaman the leper that dipped himself in River Jordan 7 times.
Batopato River. That was what River Jordan was. That
yes,
time.
Yeah. This
it was not a water for clean people.
We need to dip this militarily imposed illegitimate document into the River Jordan of a new national resurgimento through a constituent assembly to cleanse it of its original sin, like the one committed by Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, being not our document. I give you this example. Gbenga, if you want to go to Kano from Abuja here, you are expected to go through Kaduna, Zaria to Kano. Is that not correct?
That's true.
What if you start the journey, which is where we are now? We call it a journey to no destination.
And I face Lokoja.
You face Lokoja.
From there, I go to Benin.
You go to Kene. You get to Auchi. You get to Benin. You get to Agbo.
I keep
Asaba.
going until I find myself in the sea.
You won't get to Kano.
I will get to the sea.
So what do you do to get it right? What do? You retrace your steps.
Yeah.
Make a U-turn.
That's true.
So it is never too late for us to make a U-turn, recognizing where we are coming from, where we want to go to.
It's not too late, but it is too difficult because we already have structures in place now whose jobs, whose existence, whose relevance within the structure called Nigeria will be wiped away by what the patrons are asking us to do.
The Constitution.
You expect the National Assembly to key into this when you are saying you need only a unicameral legislature?
Yes, where?
Legislative assembly.
Gbenga, let me tell you, an idea does not become obsolete because it is being fought right now, because it is being kicked against. But it will continue to germinate until one day someone will do it.
Be bold enough.
Bold enough. I want to encourage President Tinubu. While he was one of us, we were on the streets together, pro-democracy movement. If you go on internet, you will see fora where I will speak, Sonny Okoso will speak, he will speak. We're fighting for democracy. I do not believe that anything has changed because it's in government. I don't see any corruptible influence in Asovila that will now making change from that is well-known pro-new constitution stance. I do not believe so. And the fact that an idea is being fought now does not mean that it is a wrong idea. Someday, it will be. Do you know why they call it the naked truth? Like this idea. It's the naked truth. The epigram is that the truth and lie were taking their bath in the stream. Suddenly, lie jumped out and took the clothes of Mr. Truth and started running away. Truth came out naked. Nothing to wear. But he decided to pursue lie. Because lie is fast. Lie was moving very fast.
Lies travel faster.
Usain Bolt, 100 meter dash race. Whereas Kipcho of Kenya, marathon race was what truth could do. So the truth was gradually going on. Gradually going on. It got to a time, lie said, I've finished Mr. Truth after all. I've taken over. Everybody now believes me.
Because he couldn't see.
Yeah, because he couldn't see truth
behind him.
He decided to rest. Gradually, truth came and overtook him unnoticed. So, as truth was pursuing lie, people started saying, see naked truth. See naked truth. See naked truth pursuing lie. And the naked truth finally overtook lie. So this idea is not about going to die until the right thing is done. Because the problems continue to stare us in the face. And we cannot pretend that we will bandage a smelly sore that oozes with putrefaction. We put white bandage, beautiful one, put powerful Sasarobia perfume, and then the aroma is good. Then we say the sore has gone. It's not true. The sore is there. What you are doing is merely cosmetic. The present constitution introduces a centralized unitary form of government. It has to be dismantled. And the National Assembly, like I said earlier, is only put there to amend the constitution under Section 9 to make laws, but it cannot produce a new constitution. It is a constituent assembly of the people that will produce a new constitution. And the National Assembly has a role to play. That's why we have told them our functions are not mutually
So how do we get the National Assembly?
Yeah,
considering the very crucial role they have to play.
Yeah.
How do we get there to be on this same place? Let us assume that that Mr. President will advance your situation. I mean your case forward.
Introduce the executive bill.
Yeah. Yes. But first, let me ask: did you attempt to draft that executive bill for him, like it was done in the past? Because I don't know whether it was the 2007 Ambassador Conference or the Jonathan one that drafted bills and attached it to.
We draft an executive bill
the report,
and attach to our recommendations.
The executive bill that will make an to
that will tell Mr. President
template for constituting
a constituent assembly.
Okay.
So the National Assembly therefore has a critical role to play. We will also engage the National Assembly to let them know that their functions and ours are not mutually exclusive. So, and that we are working towards the same goal.
Okay.
We are working towards the same goal to have
then it's
a new
mutually exclusive.
Sorry, mutually exclusive. Thank you very much. They are mutually. So we are.
They have their own path to follow. To get to that destination that you also want to get to through your own path.
But ours is deeper and more fundamental, touching the problem. Theirs is touching the symptoms. A headache unknown to people is not an illness. A headache is a symptom of an illness. If, for example, Gbenga, you see your walls, the walls of your house cracking, you go and call a mason, a bricklayer, to come and patch those cracks. What happens next? You will see the cracks come back. Because the root cause of those cracks has not been identified. Do you get it? When you see termites coming into your house, it is because you are carrying a piece of log wood
somewhere
Yes, somewhere.
And that is the attraction.
That is the attraction that has oil. So they are coming there. You can't blame the tenant and say, why are you coming here? What do? You now go around your house and discover that, as a matter of fact, there's a big tree inside the compound of your house. And that this tree has grown big roots that have now spread into the building, into the building's foundation, leading to the cracks. What do? Look at it this way. You don't even go to the branches of the tree to merely go and cut them out. Because if you merely cut them out,
it will grow again.
It will grow again. And the cracks will remain. You go to the taproot, the very taproot of the tree. Uproot that tree. Root and branches, hook, line, and sinker. As soon as those roots go and they die, those cracks will now first remain there, but you will now use the opportunity. You can now say, okay, let me now go and patch them up. But if it is a big edifice like Nigeria, the best thing is not to begin to amend cracks on a wall. The edifice will collapse later. Nigeria is on tenterhooks.
Because of the weight.
You need to totally uproot everything and remake the foundation with strong mortar, strong Julius Berger iron rods to withstand tempests, to withstand challenges.
That's
what we are saying.
I listened to a member of the Patriots.
Yes.
When he was making his speech, Professor Gidado.
Okay.
Professor Gidado. And Maxwell Gidado, that is.
Yes.
Senior advocate of Nigeria.
Yes.
And he made the point, and I didn't see much disagreement with that point, which is that, gentlemen and Nigerians, let us not quarrel, let us not appear like the lazy farmer that is quarreling
with his
tools. You know, this constitution is our tool.
Yeah.
Let us see how to make that tool better. And he made that point succinctly, that there is virtually, under the constitution now, there is virtually no aspect of this constitution that cannot be amended if the will is there. And we may not know where we have brought forth a brand new constitution through that amendment process. If the will is there.
That is the point.
That's for me, that's very instructive.
No, that's the point of diversion, of disagreement. You can't amend a bad document.
How so?
1 million amendments cannot cure it of its deficiency. 1 million amendments cannot. Because it was never even
I've not
made.
seen any of those problems that were put on the table that we cannot amend. Because some of them were actually man-made, were made by us and imported into the constitution. For example, there's nothing in the constitution which says governors, we are saying that the states don't control their resources. But even the ones they have, has anybody asked questions about how they are managing it? States today that cannot pay salaries, living wages for their workers, are building airports. They are building governors' mansions, governors' houses. The one, if you have a good one before another one comes, he wants to build an attachment to it. Another one comes, oh, there's no mosque here, there's no church here. He will want to build these ones. Without people asking questions.
Let me ask you.
To whom much is given?
Let me ask you why the problem is more fundamental. Supposing the Constituent Assembly, made up of the people, recommends, for example, a parliamentary system of government that is cost-effective and more effective as a system of government with a lean something. Under a parliamentary system of government, it is the political party that goes around canvassing for votes. And the one that has the highest number of representation at the center forms the government, the one that is in the majority. Right? And then the legislators from amongst them, a prime minister, the leader of the party, is thrown up. And there are ministers under him. They are all accountable to the legislature. Whenever the legislature does not like what they are doing, they pass a vote of no confidence. And the prime minister resigns immediately. We have seen that play out. At the lower level, is premier. Now, the next election, for example, one of the reasons the present constitution is bad. a presidential candidate will need trillions of naira. Last time it was hundreds of billions. They will need trillions of naira to campaign for election. These are the resources of the country that ought to be freed for development. The point we are therefore making...
So not because the Constitution says it is so.
No, because the Constitution brought the avenue for these wastages. That's the point we must still recognize. If the Constitution says we are centralized, we are unitary, how much can we do? How much can people in power do to not to be unitary? If the Constitution gives us 3 tiers of government, federal, state, local, whereas local should be a matter that is local for the states, thereby guzzling more funds. How can you say it is not the Constitution? So it is not the number of amendments. Already we have up to 5th amendment in the 1999 Constitution within 25 years. The American Constitution is up to 236 years. And there are only 27 amendments. But then, even before the 27 amendment, it was genuinely made by the people themselves and given to themselves after a referendum, enjoying their legitimacy. The 1999 Constitution does not. So let us not waste time with further amendment. They will amend because, like you said, the self-preservation is the first law of nature.
Yes.
They will want to preserve themselves. But then, the problem will continue to linger. And Nigeria is not moving ahead. The Asian tigers, Hong Kong, South Korea,
Malaysia,
Taiwan, they were far behind us. The Asian tigers. But they came on board roaring. Saudi Arabia king used to come to University Teaching Hospital Ibadan for treatment. Malaysia came to Nigeria to take palm kernel away. They have all overtaken us. India that became independent in 1947, just 30 years before Nigeria's 1960. They manufacture aircraft and ships. Manufacture aircraft except the turbo engine.
Prof,
they
we have to go.
Export products to America. Technological products, scientific products. But here we are, still sprawling. Too much corruption weighing us down with us being told by Transparency International that we're about 45th most corrupt nation in the world. But I am not here preaching despondency.
We have to go.
Yes, I am not preaching despondency. I'm saying Nigeria can have a better future with a brand new people's constitution, with a over 70% youthful population.
Prof, let me just...
less than 30.
Thank you.
Or people less than 30. Over 45% of people less than 15. Nigeria is the most youthful country in the world. We will get it right. But please, Mr. President, sir, National Assembly, sir, this is a time to make sacrifice, great sacrifice. And the president like Tinubu will be remembered even more. That when he came, we say, Winnie, we did, we say, he came, he saw, he conquered.
Just like you came, you saw, and you have conquered. Let us leave
so
it
if
there.
he gives us
we
a new
cannot
constitution,
that constitution,
it may be the greatest achievement
and the greatest gift to Nigeria. Generations yet on board.
Yes, generations yet on board. That's my humble advice to Mr. President.
Thank you, Prof. We can't decree that into existence in just 1 hour.
That's why the process we have started it.
And we continue.
We continue.
We may have to drag you back soon again for maybe after you have met the president.
Yes.
We might just
by the grace of
be able
God
to bring you back.
Mr. President,
thank you so much.
He will meet us by God's grace. Thank
Professor
you.
Mike Ozekhome is a senior advocate of Nigeria, a member of the Patriots, and of course a leading voice in the space called Nigeria. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Nigerians. Be hopeful.
Thank you too for investing your time with us. We'll see you again. My name is Gbenga Aruleba.